Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing tonight? Episode number 386, Drink Until You podcast. The only podcast that lasts until the last drop. How the hell is your Sunday going? How the hell was your week? Hope everybody's okay. I hope you're safe out there. It's actually, however you consider it, early Sunday morning, late Saturday night here. Drinking once again one of my low-carb beers. Let's go ahead and have our first drink of the episode. If you got them, drink them, bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, all the festivities are over. The NHL. Dude, I just don't know what to make of this series. I did pick the Oilers. If I were to put money down on who's going to win this series, that's who I picked, was the Oilers. And it's just been back and forth, dude. After that game, I think it was game 3, they had split the series, and the Oilers just came out, just ready to fight. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it pretty much was all game, like people say, went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. That was pretty much that game, and I was thinking during and after that game, I was like, that's it. The series is over. Like, it just seemed like Florida was in their head. Not only were they irritating them, but they were just beating the hell out of them in game 3. And like I said, the Oilers came out ready to fight. That's pretty much what, the number of penalties in that game was ridiculous. And like I said, I was thinking that was it. That's done. Like, they're in their head. They can't beat them. That's the reason they came out. And, if you can't beat them kind of thing. And the next game, game 4, the Oilers come back from down like 3-1 and win that game in overtime. Draisaitl. And I just want to make a note here. That's what top NHL players do. They score in those positions, those clutch times. There's a reason for it. It's McDavid and Draisaitl are two of the best players in the world. And not only are they skilled, but that's part of it, man. Your top players, your skilled players, your star players, they got to score in those situations. So then they tie up the series 2-2, which I didn't expect. Like I said, I just thought it was over in game 3 pretty much. We're just going to play the rest of it out. Oilers weren't going to get another win, but they get one, which was huge. They lose last night, Saturday night. I think it was 5-2. And yeah, now they're back to, is it back to Florida now? Let's see. It was Florida, Edmonton. That last one last night. So, it's got to be going back to Edmonton. Panthers only one win away. It's just been a great series, man. It's been so much fun. Like, watching Marchand do what he's doing. Like, you can tell he's just driven. He's just focused. He's playing his ass off, man. He wants that cup. I'm happy for him for that. On the other side, the flip side, I think they took Skinner out. Game 4, they pulled him. I think they played their backup for game 5. They lose 5-2, so it's, maybe a little strategy there, saving Skinner for the last 2 games of the season, even though, man, Florida's one win away. They're just so strong. And probably one of the only things I've ever heard Gary Bettman say that I'm like, oh, okay, I get that. That makes sense. Is everybody's bitching about, I guess the players in Florida, they don't pay taxes, so it makes players want to go there, makes their contracts easier. I don't know if it's no taxes. There's some kind of loophole kind of thing going on. Less taxes, no taxes. I don't know exactly the details of it, but Everybody's kind of bitching about that, with Tampa Bay, the Lightning, Tampa Bay Lightning. They won the cup there for a good number of years. Now the Panthers are doing it, and people are complaining about the, taxed teams versus non-taxed teams. And Bettman said nobody cared about this issue when these teams weren't any good. And that's such a solid point. Really, nobody cared about that when they weren't winning shit, when they were the bottom of the barrel. You knew the Panthers weren't even going to make it to the playoffs. Tampa Bay did win in 2004, a Stanley Cup. That was a shortened season. I think there was some kind of strike. It was like a half a season. They played half a season and basically just went into the playoffs, and Tampa Bay won that one, 2004. But yeah, I mean, that's honestly a solid point. Nobody gave a shit before they were good, before they started dominating. It only matters now because they're good, I just thought that was a solid point on that front. Is that a bird in the tree? It is like way too early. I thought birds slept at night and like were awake during the day. That thing's up there just like, I don't know if you can hear it on the recording. I'm trying to get a booty call or something. I don't know. Do birds do that? That can't be a bat. Bats don't make that noise. Bats don't chirp. Very odd. Anyways. Yeah, so it's been a great series, dude. Having a lot of fun watching. It's coming down to the end. I'm just going to focus here for a second on my Stars. I saw this post on Facebook the other day, if I can find it. And it was well said. This is kind of what I was pointing to. DeBoer got fired from the Dallas Stars, after pulling Jake Ottinger in the last game of our season. And then basically pointing out the truth. Hate to say it that way, but it's the truth. I think DeBoer said something to the effect of the last 3 elimination games that we've played in, that Ottinger has played in, we've gone down by 2 goals in 3 elimination games. And we just can't do that. And that set everything off. I mean, the players were unhappy. Like I said, DeBoer did eventually get fired for that. But this post on Facebook I found that I saved, it's kind of pointing to the same thing that I'm saying. It's like the players more recently just control the teams. You know what I mean? Like it seems like they have more of a say than the coaches. And it's easier for, group of players to get a coach fired than just take, personal responsibility. We weren't good enough. I didn't stop enough. We didn't play well enough. It's the coach's fault because he pulled me, and he also said something about me to the media. I call that soft. I will always call that soft. I mean, these athletes are making millions and millions of dollars, and you can't hear any criticism. All of our bosses do that. You know what I mean? Like every boss you've ever had for any job, they all do that. If you're fucking up your job and you're making it harder for everybody else, which is such a great analogy, because you go down 2-0 in an elimination game, you're making it harder on your teammates now. You're making it to where they have to score. Like you're kind of putting them in a panic to have to score all of a sudden. And it's the whole thing they always say, you start gripping the stick tighter. You start trying a little too hard, and things, they're not going your way because you're basically trying too hard. It's like it's got to be a level of relaxed / confident. You know what I mean? And this, by the way, any of my hockey opinions, I say this all the time. I've never coached a professional team before. I've never managed a professional team before. I've never played on a professional team before. I've never practiced with the professional team. I can't hardly even skate, you know. So take my opinion with a grain of salt, but just looking from the outside and watching over the years, you know, this is just what I've seen with my Stars. Is like, it's always the coach's fault. It's always on the coach, never the players. Even though the coach doesn't lace them up, the coach can't execute and score that game-winning goal or game-tying goal. You know, DeBoer couldn't be ranting and help us come back. Dude, we shouldn't even, honestly, if it wasn't for that amazing third period by Rantanen, or the Colorado Avalanche, they just had us down, dude. I mean, they had us. I saw someone post the other day, they were 12 minutes away from moving on to the next round. And then, I mean, they had the Stars dead to rights. They had the fans in that stadium dead to rights. I remember I was in my car listening to it, a part of it. And I mean, it was almost silence in there, you know. Colorado had just come out and taken it from us. And then Rantanen's amazing play. Couple of amazing plays to get us back in it. Johnston with the tying goal on the power play, and then Rantanen with the one to put it away. Yeah, dude, it was you know, a little bit of luck, but also like great players. That's what great players do. It's just, you know, I'm sure the other NHL teams we were soon to face took notice of Rantanen, and, you know, double coverage all the time. Anytime he's on the ice, double coverage. You can't let him go by himself. And yeah, I mean, they were just so close to knocking us out. We just didn't have the formula, but it's like, you know, the coach can't do that, you know. The coach can inspire you. The coach can come up with set plays off the face-off. But at the end of the day, it just falls on the players. That's why I'm pointing out Draisaitl. That's why I'm pointing out McDavid. When it counts the most, your top players, even though I will say McDavid hasn't even scored a goal in the Stanley Cup final, which is like I don't know, man. It's kind of confusing to the players, I would assume. It's like he's the one yelling in the locker room. You know what I mean? Everything you got. Everything you got right fucking now. That whole thing. I was like, dude, you got to put the biscuit in the basket, dude. If you're the best player in the world, and I get it. They're on him. They're covering him. They're going to not let him have space, but you got to find a way. You know, thank God for his teammates. Even though, I mean, McDavid is drawing a lot. There was that one play McDavid did, and it's like, as the other team, it's like watching the play, I just remember thinking, like, what do you do in that situation? What do you do? Like, Connor McDavid's coming through past the blue line into the offensive zone with such speed. It's like, okay, you can't slow him down. And then he's also got the puck, and he's, like, putting it between your legs, like, getting past you. You know, like, you can't defend this man. And he, like, takes it right to the slot, the prime scoring area. And in that split second, I mean, being on the other team, being on, you know, the Panthers team, you've got to be thinking, like, oh, no. Like, in a split second, the best player in the world in the slot just, like, deked past me and a couple of other guys. And now he's in the most prime scoring position on the ice. And what does he do? He doesn't take a shot, but everybody's looking at him, and everybody's closing in on him. You know, out of the three players, he deked two of them, and there's like one left pretty much. And those two other players, I mean, they're all three just closing down on him. It's McDavid in the slot. It's ultimate, like, high alert, panic mode. and he doesn't take a shot. He passes it over to Draisaitl, and I mean, it's just pretty much an empty net. And you can't blame the Panthers at all for that. We all would have done the same thing. You know, he's just so slippery, and, you know, at least he's contributing. I will say that. He might not be scoring, or he hasn't scored yet, but he is contributing. He knows all the eyes are on him. If you get him in the slot, they got to close down on him. They have to 3-on-1 him, because you can't let him take a shot from there. You do something, and then he passes it off. What a brilliant play. What a great play. Marchand putting on a show yesterday with a couple of moves there with that it's same kind of thing, that between the legs on the defender, they have to turn around for the puck, and by the time they turn around, Marchand's already gone. You know, he's already scoring the goal on you. That Draisaitl one, though, the overtime one, what a manly move. Like he had one hand on his stick, and he's fighting off like defenders, and he just, like, I don't even know what you would call that move. Like when you play, when they do like curling in the Olympics, it's like the way they push that marble, whatever the hell that thing is, puck-looking thing. It's like he did that. He like shoveled it with one hand past the goaltender to win the game. It was just, that's why you watch, dude. That's exactly why you watch. You're going to see plays in this series that are going to blow your mind. And I've seen probably a handful by now. The Draisaitl one was just the shoveling with one hand past the goaltender was insane to win in overtime. That was game 4. The McDavid juke to the slot only to dish it off to Draisaitl, who's wide open, and everybody's panicking that McDavid's right there. That's another one of them. The Marchand through the legs work. I mean, just the effort, the workhorse goal. I mean, that's another one. And that's not even getting into the saves. The saves from these top tier players that should have been goals that the goalies are just denying. Bobrovsky's been amazing. Fucking Skinner's been amazing. I don't know what's going on with him. Like, is he hurt? He was pulled one game. He didn't play last game. I'm not sure. But I mean, I would have to assume, like I said earlier, they're just saving him for 6 and 7. Yeah, we need you for the last 2, buddy. We're going to try to get it done. And they actually did get it done with the backup in that overtime game. So that was helpful. That's the equivalent of maybe not having a position player come on to pitch in baseball. Maybe not that bad, because this guy is a trained backup goalie. But that's basically the baseball equivalent of saving your bullpen. You know what I mean? We're going to use our lesser guys to eat up this game to get the victory. And that way tomorrow we got our best guys, our best bullpen. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just been a great series, dude. But I want to read this real quick pertaining to the Stars. This is from Sita. Sorry if I mispronounced it. Sita. Peter DeBoer, and how NHL coaches have been sapped of all their authority. The firing of Pete DeBoer by the Dallas Stars on June 6, 2025, after 3 consecutive Western Conference final appearances, highlights a broader trend in the NHL where coaches are increasingly stripped of their authority and job security, often at the mercy of player sentiment and organizational pressure. DeBoer's dismissal stemmed partly from his controversial decision to pull goaltender Jake Ottinger early in Game 5 of the 2025 Western Conference Final against the Edmonton Oilers, followed by public comments that reportedly frustrated players. Despite his impressive 149 and 68 and 29 regular season record and a .665 points percentage, the best in the NHL during his tenure, Stars GM Jim Nill cited the need for a new voice to push the team toward a Stanley Cup. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't know if I've necessarily noticed this with other teams, just mainly my Stars. And it's really been The reason I've noticed so much is just the turnstile of coaches we've had. Since Tippett, I mean, Tippett had a good long run with us. I think his was maybe 8 years, something like that. It could be less. But it seems like since Tippett came in, he had his defensive style. It wasn't sexy hockey. It wasn't, we weren't going to blow anybody out 6-1, nothing like that. But, it's pretty successful. We never made it to the final. But he had pretty good coaching seasons in there. But ever since him, I mean, it's just been coach after coach after coach. I understand the Monty thing and the Rick Bowness thing. That was kind of not necessary. That was the one instance where it's not what I'm talking about. That's not an example of what I was talking about. Monty was having personal issues. He had to leave. Bowness took over. And that's the only time I can recall in these past years that's been the reason the coach has left. It's always been like, oh, this guy doesn't, he's too old school and the game is changing and all this. He's a dump and chase coach. Which, I'm going to keep saying it until the end of time. That drives me nuts. Every coach is a dump and chase coach. It just depends on when you use it. You know what I mean? Like, you go back and watch the Stanley Cup Final 2025, I guarantee you, I know for a fact, there's at least one dump and chase goal. It's just a strategy. It's never going to go away. Coaches use it all the time. It's just a weird thing that people hate dump and chase so much. It's like, yeah, but if you execute, it's a good thing. That's what I think. That's what people are frustrated with. Not necessarily dump and chase itself. It's more of we don't execute when we dump and chase. So that's a problem, But anyways, yeah, I like that. I saved it so I could read it on the podcast. That's exactly what I've been talking about. Is the players have all the say now, and I don't like that. That's not good for. It's not good leadership. You got to have the guy, the coach, the manager. There's. You can't just let the players run the team. I mean, I would feel like players are less likely to hold each other accountable just because they're friends. You know what I mean? Like, they might even room together. Like, I don't know. It just seems like it can get out of hand really quick. And I feel like that's what we've watched over the years. That's what I've watched as a Stars fan. It's just players, they're trying to hold each other accountable, but at the end of the day, it's all laughs, Ben and Sagan, I mean, they would lose a huge game and go out and fucking party like it didn't matter. And it's like, do you guys even... I know they care, but it's like, how much? I don't know, dude. And I'm not saying you can't go out and party. I mean, they're fucking millionaires. Who am I to sit here and tell them what they can and can't do after they lose? But wouldn't it just be so much better of a party if you won? You know what I mean? Like, give yourself something to celebrate. What are you celebrating? That you lost? I don't know, man. It was like that whole thing. It's like the Dallas Mavericks. The anniversary of them winning their championship was just the other day. And, I remember specifically in those... in that playoff run, they would beat a team. They swept the Lakers. I mean, that was pretty impressive. But they didn't celebrate. It wasn't about going out and partying. It wasn't about, it's that whole Mark Cuban thing. When he got on the fucking mic, we ain't finished yet. It was that idea. You don't celebrate, because they did that. I mean, dude, back in 2006, I mean, they had the Heat done early on anyway. And I mean, they're going out and partying and shit. And, we're in the NBA finals and then they end up losing it, and that was a huge sign. And Dirk, obviously being a huge leader on that team, they would high five and stuff, good game after the series, after they're moving on, but they knew it's not over. It's not over. And then when they finally won the thing, that's when you fucking party, man. That fucking I'll never forget that $10,000 bottle of champagne, and Dirk just, it's like, that's it. That's when you celebrate. That's when you go hard. When you've done the job, you've won the thing. This early celebration and, well, we're just going to go out and party regardless. I don't know, man. It kind of kills the momentum, in my opinion. But what do I know? Like I said, I've never played professional sports in my life. I've never coached. But let's go ahead and have another drink. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers. All right. Been watching a lot of movies. Older movies, like older spaghetti westerns a little bit. Trying to get into those. And I really like the pace of those older movies like that, like Clint Eastwood kind of movies. I really like the pace of those movies. It's just kind of a slow go. You get a little of the story at a time. It's not all just action-packed. Even though there is action in there, it takes a minute to build up, and you got to figure out what's going on and why these things are happening. I really like them. I love a movie that has a good pace to it. One I can think of most recently is The Hateful Eight. I just love the intro to that movie. I mean, it's just a lot of credits, and they're showing a lot of mountains and snow and stuff. I mean, it's like fucking 10 minutes of that. It feels like. It's not actually 10 minutes. It's probably like 3 to 5, which feels like an eternity when you're watching a movie. But I like that. I like a little build-up. I like to, a little mystery maybe. A little, I don't know. I can't think of another word. Build-up. That's it. So anyways, in honor of that, I've done some movie cocktails. We'll do some drink recommendations real quick. Well, where did my page go? I had it all there. What happened? There we go. Wait, is that it? Let's see. Okay, so here's some iconic movie cocktails. We'll kind of break down 3 of them, but we'll just go over the list here briefly. The Vesper Martini. They credit that drink to Casino Royale. White Russian, obviously, The Big Lebowski. Sex and the City, The Cosmopolitan. Mad Men, The Old Fashioned. Casablanca, The French 75. The Manhattan from Some Like It Hot. It sounds like a 90s movie, isn't it? The Orange Whip from the Blues Brothers movie. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is the Singapore Sling. Ooh, we might have to read that one. I don't know what's in that one. The Great Gatsby was the Mint Julep. But I always love it when the actors are drinking in the movie. Or, like I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but I'm not going to lie, dude, when you see a fucking Clint Eastwood on the big screen, like lighting one up, you're like, God damn, I want a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like drinking does the same thing to me. Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Rick Dalton, he's blending up margaritas in his kitchen, and it's like he's drinking out of the blender. And I'm like, dude, that just makes me want to make a fucking margarita. Or his go-to, the whiskey sours. He's always got a whiskey sour in his hand with the little, the ice just jingling in the glass. Dude, it's like, man, I just want to drink and watch this movie now. So anyways, that's kind of the inspiration. Like I said, The Big Lebowski, that's obviously, dude, I think it's so funny in that movie. Every scene he goes to, like he's in multiple places, multiple different houses. And it seems like every house he goes to, there's just like a little bar, and it's got all the ingredients for a White Russian. So he's like always drinking a White Russian throughout the movie. So yeah, the Vesper Martini, which I mentioned a second ago from Casino Royale, it says a cocktail created by James Bond. It consists of gin, vodka, and quina lillet, shaken with ice and garnished with the lemon peel. Obviously, the White Russian, a simple yet decadent drink made with vodka, coffee liqueur like Kahlua, and cream served over ice. The Old Fashioned, I mean, that's one of my favorites. It's a classic. Probably the best Old Fashioned I've ever had was a place called Shakerton's. I don't know if it still exists anymore, but that's out in the Colony in Texas. And, dude, I mean, they did it right, man. I don't know, just all the flavors just went so well together. The orange peel, they would like rub the peel on the rim of the glass, so when you go to take a drink, you kind of get that orange flavor with the liquor. I don't know, it's just so good. I don't know what was so special about theirs, but I loved it. And that's just the classic cocktail, it says here, with bourbon or rye whiskey, sugar, bitters, and a splash of water or soda. It shows an orange peel in the picture here. It just doesn't mention that. But yeah, the orange is the way to go. That zesty, that fresh kind of citrusy fruit with the whiskey. Yeah, it's so freaking good. The one I want to see, this is from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This is a Singapore Sling, a long fruity cocktail made with gin, cherry liqueur, Cointreau, Benedictine. That sounds like a medicine more than I don't know what that is. Pineapple juice, lime juice, and Angostura bitters for the Singapore Sling. What is a Benedictine? I gotta look it up. What is Benedictine? Is a French herbal liqueur with a distinctive sweet and complex flavor profile crafted from a blend of 27 different herbs and spices. It has a rich, aromatic, and slightly spicy taste with notes of honey, citrus, and various herbs. Okay, interesting. I've never heard of that before. But yeah, there's a little kind of short list, a short run through movie cocktails. As always, don't drink and drive. Don't be a Rick Dalton and have to have your stunt double drive you around because you got too many drinking and driving tickets. Treat yourself to it. And that was back in the 70s, you know. They didn't have all these new age things they could use to not drink and drive. I'm not giving them excuses. They shouldn't have been drinking and driving back then, but I'm just saying it's 2025. There's just so many resources. Treat yourself to an Uber. Treat yourself to a Lyft. Treat yourself to a DoorDash, an Uber Eats, a Waymo, if it's in your area. That's the automated taxi they're trying to come out with, which I think is really freaking cool. You know? But yeah, there's just no reason for it. Don't drink and drive. If you got them, drink them. Bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. All right, I guess my recorder just decided I was done with the episode and turned off on me. But that is the episode. Little NASCAR on today. I haven't talked about it in weeks. Christopher Bell has won his 4th race of the season. That was a couple of weeks ago. So that was nice. He's doing great in the standings. I think he's around 5th or 6th overall, which he's going to need some stage points today. He's starting in 31st place, but I'm not worried about him. Who was it last week? His teammate, Ty Gibbs, 2nd place. Finally somebody to help on his team, that Joe Gibbs Racing team. That's all I've wanted for Christopher Bell all season, is just if we can get a pack of 2-3 drivers in a row, like we can make some moves, we can do some damage. But yeah, we got to help each other, man. We got to help each other. But yeah, race is on today. Let's go Christopher Bell. Let's go Ryan Blaney. What's the other dude's name I'm starting to like? Is it McDowell, who drives the Ally car? I like him too. So it's like now I've got a racer on every team. I've got a Toyota, I've got a Chevy, I've got a Ford. Blaney being the Ford. No, wait, no, is it Bowman? I think it's Bowman, actually. Bowman is the Chevy, and my guy Christopher Bell's the Toyota. So now I have a driver for every team. I know that's normally not how people do it. I wasn't trying to get a driver for every team. It just I just like the way they race. Blaney got a win. I think that was last week, maybe the week before. Good for him after the shit season he's had so far. Man, he's either been wrecked out. I mean, just something has always happened to that man this season. I feel like it's abnormal. I'm not huge. Like, this is only really my first season watching racing. And I just feel like the things that have happened to Blaney this season are just abnormal for him. You know, I did watch the scoreboard a lot last season. But, yeah, Blaney just seemed like he was having such a better season last season. I don't know what's, something. And he's like, the thing about it is, too, like, Blaney is just a lot of the time just minding his own damn business. He just gets taken out by other cars jockeying for position behind him. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, dude, he wasn't even a part of this. And now he's a DNF, But, yeah, it's coming down to the end of the season. I'm excited for my guy. I hope he can, stay in the top, man. He, like I said, he's starting 31st today, but I'm really not worried about him. I know he can jump up. He can climb up as he normally does, so that's what he's going to do. Anyways, that's it for me, everybody. Let's go ahead and finish these off. If you got them, drink them bottoms up. Cheers, everybody. All right. Thank you guys for listening. I will talk at you next week. I love you all. Bye.